The new Grow Garden update is finally out, and inside of the new cooking update, we have so many new things that we're going to have to talk over, and one of them is actually a game-breaking mechanic. But starting off with, firstly, we have the main cooking mechanic that I'll talk over, and one of the main things to note is there are a lot of different recipes that give different outcomes based on what you put into the thing, and do note, all of the official tracked, official recipes will be on the website, linked in the description. So make sure you do check that out, because what happens is, for the starting, he has what's called his preference. So his preference changes every hour, or craving, as it says. And so if you want to craft specifically that, it'll get you like a bit higher into the rewards. So I'll go over further how you can try to get better rewards later in the video. But so if you give him his preference, you probably get you get a better chances on the stuff you get. Now on the website, so far we have the recipe for the salad, pie, soup, waffle, hot dog, sandwich, sushi, cake, ice cream, pizza, donut, and burger. Now this was even officialized by, I believe, one of the developers, and they said there's even a good chance that if you put in the correct ingredients, you don't even get it, but you more commonly get the correct thing. But also do note is we're currently working on, in our website, having the official information in regards to the color that it shows. So whenever you're putting items into this pot right here, there's going to be a different color, and so usually you can indicate what you're going to get based on the color. So we'll most likely fix that and get that out soon, and once again, I'll probably post in my Discord server, so make sure you join that if we get that out. But that'll be really beneficial, so if you don't know what you're about to get, you can just check the list on the website. So one of the other things to note is we also have a new gear. So this is going to be the new best sprinkler, obviously replacing the master sprinkler. And it's like the best master sprinkler. So it's going to be called the Grand Master Sprinkler. This is prismatic, and as you see, it massively increases growth speed, mutation chances, fruit size boost, pets. So as you see, it also boosts pets. So that is the one main thing. So not only does its ability outdo the Master Sprinkler, which greatly increases, this one massively increases, but it also affects pets, which is actually really interesting. And it probably literally affects your entire garden, because as you know, the Master Sprinkler, if there's one on this account, probably not, yeah, there isn't, but the Master Sprinkler can cover nearly half of an entire plot. So this one might cover your entire plot and boost all of your pets' abilities, which is really, really overpowered. Now, another new thing that we have, if you didn't know, is we have what is called pets inventory slots. So this right here is going to be presets you can make and create for different things that is going to tie into the save slots, which is really overpowered. So one of the things you can do with this is have different pet inventory. So for me, on my main account in the main server, since this is in the testing, I'm going to have my grinding one and then my casual one. So my casual one is just a lot of pets like the dragonfly, mimic octopus, T-Rex, things like that. And then my grinding one is only like raccoons and stuff. So you can make plenty of presets like that, and this is a very, very overpowered mechanic. So you can do things like this one right here. This one, I just have a Shiba, right, or a golden bee. And say I want to switch back to the first one, it will re-equip all of the ones from your inventory. And then here's all my starfish and things like that. Super overpowered mechanic, and I very much like seeing stuff around this. But another thing to note is we also have new craftable seeds. So these are the only two ones, which are going to be the Twisted Tangled and the Vine Petal. So don't directly know these values, and they're probably not good considering I believe they're only like legendary or mythic, but once again, still pretty decent to have new ones. Now, one of the main things to note, so obviously the core update entirely is around the kitchen and the cooking mechanic. It is very, very hard. So one thing to note is obviously this is in the testing server, so values and all that have not been finalized. But what I can say for very much is I have not gotten a single egg. It is very, very hard, and I have not found anyone who has gotten one of the eggs. So one of the main issues that we are dealing with right now is there's not a lot of information out. So once again, expect more videos throughout the week on the actual update, since right now we're just a bunch of, crossing my fingers. But what we do know is that, for example, the Mochi Mouse. So I actually have a screenshot of what this pet does. As you see, all active food type pets gain additional 2 XP per second, and then every 9.5 minutes gains additional 500 bonus XP. So very overpowered for that. It's like the mouse pet, but better. Additional note is for the seed packs, there are a few pet plants you can expect to get from this. So the seed pack is it's not too hard to get. And another thing to note is something around this reward system that I really like. But as you see, we have the onion, jalapeno, crown melon, sugar glaze, tall asparagus, and the grand tomato. Just note, these are all placeholder images previous to the exotic Zen seed pack, because the game developers, they're dealing with a lot of people leaking the entire update before it's even out. So that's kind of like a bit of a gesture and a reason why. So if you see anything weird like that, it's just because it's a bit of like a placeholder to keep people from leaking all the information. Now, another thing to know, we also have the trading system. So this has finally been added. So to do trading, pretty much what you're going to need to do is come on down to the gear shop. So there's going to be what's called the trading ticket. So since this most likely will not frequently come in stock, I'm going to quickly buy something real fast that's in stock. Another thing to note is things like this, the watermelon, random small things, corn, right? All of these are necessary. So there's no like high rarity thing for crafting recipes. Most of it are smaller things. So like corn, watermelons, I believe these are really frequent. But so for trading, once again, you're going to go back down to gear. Also, this most likely isn't going to be a guaranteed in stock. So if you're going to check out my Discord server, which will be linked in the description, we have a stock notifier for eggs, gear, seeds, all that. But one thing to note is inside of it, we're going to have, once again, this is just a placeholder value, a trading ticket. So let me open up my auto clicker real fast and buy a ton of them. But as you see, I have about 400 of them. So the way the trading ticket is going to work is it's proximity based. So whenever you get near a person, as you see, you can send them a trade request, and that is going to use the ticket once. So you're going to have to use the trade ticket to actually interact with the person to send a trade. But so once you send the trade, it is fairly simple. It is anything in your inventory can be traded. You could even trade trading tickets. You can trade seeds, all sorts of stuff. You could even grind plants on your account. So as I do know is once again, make sure you check out the website. Once we have the full crafting recipe for all of the different cooking things or cooking recipes, we will have the finalized on the website. So if you're going to check that out, but you could trade in, since there is a timer that's around like 5 to 10 minutes, you could craft it on one account, trade the items, craft it on another account, and then trade the items back over to your main account to get all of the rewards. But for the most part, we have a few new pets that we don't know exactly what they do, but we have the bagel bunny, pancake mole, sushi bear, spaghetti sloth, and the French fry ferret. We don't genuinely know what any of these do because, once again, there's no knowledge on how you even obtain it, because once again, no one I've come across has even obtained the egg, but they are still pretty decent. So also another thing, as I was saying before previously, one of the main things you can craft, if this idiot would move out of the way, oh my gosh, dude, move, why? Dude, both of these idiots, like, actually, oh my, dude, I actually can't. Okay, so we do, dude, holy crap, dude, I'm actually about to crash out on these kids. They're so annoying. There we go. Oh my gosh. Very good mechanic that I do like is around the way the event works. So the further you get into the reward, the thing, so say I got 4, you can get 4, 4 gourmet seed packs.